Affordable Life for All. Yan daw ang laman ng inihandang speech ng Pangulo sa kanyang ikalawang State of the Nation address. Pero ang 2 oras niyang talumpati napuno ng mga ad-lib at mga dati niyang hugot kontra droga, krimen at human rights, pati na mga dati niyang birada kontra sa Amerika, ilang media organizations at kay Senator Laila De Lima. Muli ring binanggit ng Pangulo na ayaw niya na ng peace talk sa mga makakaliwang grupo, sabay banat kay Communist Party of the Philippines founding chairman Joma Sison. Nagbabala naman ang Pangulo sa mga mining company na magbayad ng tamang buwis at pangalagaan ng mga apektadong komunidad. Apela rin niya sa Senado, suportahan ang tax reform program ng gobyerno. Live mula sa Quezon City, may report si Joseph Morong. Joseph?
Jessica, informal at halos unscripted o hindi na nga sinunod ng Pangulo halos yung kanyang speech sa kanyang ikalawang State of the Nation address. Ilan sa mga paksang napag-usapan o binanggit ng Pangulo ay ang martial law, giyera kontra sa droga, babala sa mga mining companies na napag-question sa kung sino ang tunay na mga may-ari ng ilang mga media entities. Kung may mga bahaging seryoso siya at nagbabanta, ay may mga pagkakataon din naman ng Pangulo na nagpapatawa siya.
When I took my oath of office a year or so ago, I knew that our country was reeling from a multitude of problems. No matter how long it takes, the fight against illegal drugs will continue because that is the root cause of so much evil and so much suffering. The fight will be unrelenting as it will be unrelenting. Despite international and local pressures, the fight will not stop. They have to stop because the alternative are either jail or hell. To the critics against the fight, your efforts will be better spent if you use the influence, moral authority, and ascendancy of your organizations over your respective sectors to educate the people on the evil of illegal drugs. But don't get me wrong, I value human life the way I value mine. I ask you to join me in this fight against illegal drugs. Sad to say, despite all efforts, peace, especially in the island of Mindanao, continues to elude us. I declared martial law in Mindanao because I believe that that was the fastest way to quell the rebellion at the least cost of lives and properties. Those who are on the ground and in the battlefields, and those who are risking their lives for our country and our democracy, I have your backs. To those who oppose and think that all these are efforts that are out of order, I hold myself, me and me alone, should be responsible. Also, I am appealing to all our legislators to immediately pass the National Land Use Act. I am holding all mining companies and its officials responsible for the full and quick cleanup, restoration, rehabilitation, all areas damaged by mining activities, and the extension of all necessary support to the communities that have suffered mining, disastrous effects of their health, livelihood, environment, among others. Either I will raise the taxes, ang kumikita niyan i-reserve ko to compensate for those who are suffering and in agony. You have to come up with an argument. You have to come up with a substitute, either spent to restore the virginity of their source, or I will tax you to death. Wala akong pinirmahan ni isa na pagparap, pagkain, wala akong allowance, wala akong tinatanggap lahat except my salary. Tapos 2 pamilya pa ang maghati. Ano masama niyan? I am calling both houses of Congress to expeditiously draft a law establishing a new authority or department that is responsive to the prevailing 21st century conditions and empower to best deliver the enhanced disaster resiliency and quick disaster response. The West Philippine Sea issue and federalism are matters that we have to tackle sooner or later. I therefore ask Congress to act on all pending legislations to reimpose death penalty. But with so many killings as brutal and as cruel as what happened, if you add human rights and due process, you stink. I challenge you. You want a debate in public? Okay, we'll have it. I will challenge you how also you trivialize the thing by binibigyan ng importansya si Dilima. You will all hear, you conducted the investigation. You heard the witnesses. You saw the videos. Is she a credible woman? When you talk about that incident, talk about it. Then condemn the police. But do not connect it with due process and human rights. Pag na may namatay dyan na maraming massacre, na rape mga bata, hindi kayo umiimik. Pagdating nitong mga Western expert ko, no, you give them so much premium and importance. Puta, saan ba ang utak ninyo eh? Bakit kayo believe dyan sa puti? Tingnan mo ang puti. Panahon ni Obama. Una yung spokesman ng State Department. Kala mo sino? Kala na mas bright pa sila sa akin. Then the staff of the President, then Obama. Would like to remind Secretary that the policy of the Senate. Yari ako. Pagdating ni Trump, oh yes, Mr. President, I've been expecting your call. You're doing it all right. I'm doing the dead and this goddamn Huwag ninyo akong takot-takotin yung preso yung International Court of Justice. I'm willing to go to prison for the rest of my life. Ang importante sa akin, ginawa ko yung gusto ko. May pinatay ako, tama yan. In the Philippines, it is really an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You took a life, then you must pay it with life. That's why when I went to Marawi, I was asked by the media, why are you here? I am here because my soldiers are here and I came here to die also. Talagang bully ako. Talagang bully ako, especially to the enemies of the state. Talagang bully ako. Kayong mga left, I will not talk to you. Why should I? Kung gusto niya ako mag-usap kayo na, sumubra kayo, ikaw season, mag-inom ka ng tang yung orange. Season is sick. May colon cancer. We pursue good relations with all nations anchored on an independent foreign policy. The church bells of Balingiga were seized by Demergans as spoils of war. Those bells are reminders of the gallantry and heroism of our forebears who resisted the American colonizers and sacrificed their lives in the process. Krag against Bolo. Krag was the standard rifle issue to the American troops. And that is how the historians describe the Philippine-American War. That is why I say today, give us back those bilingual belts. They are ours. They belong to the Philippines. They are part of our national heritage. Isauli naman ninyo, masakit yon sa amin. We not talk about our overseas Filipinos. They are our heroes. They and their families have sacrificed much for the country. We all know how a large part of our economy comes from their remittances. That is why, to ensure that their rights are protected, I ordered the increase of our assistance to the OFW from 400 million to more than 1 billion. We have been hard at work in securing the rights and welfare of our OFW. A year ago, I also learned government officials and employees that I will never tolerate corruption in my administration. Establish hotlines, government centers that receive public concerns. One of which is the Hotline 911, which allowed us to receive and immediately respond to emergencies. We also launched Hotline 8888, the Citizens Complaint Hotline. This is a public hotline facility that receives feedbacks or concerns on government services. We want to ensure that our people receive the quality services that they deserve, minus the delays by the bureaucratic red tape. I expect speedy reforms along this line. We will right-size the national government. Let us trim the excess fat and add more muscle through the expeditious passage of the Act right-sizing the national government to improve public service and sector. I therefore urge Congress to pass this at the soonest. For the government-owned and controlled corporations, isa pa kayo, the implementation of the existing salary standardization law pending review in the compensation and position classification system. It's excessive, extravagant, and unconscionable. Salaries and allowances, incentives, benefits, and bonuses across the government-owned or controlled corporations at this time increases will have to pass by my office. I also appeal to the Supreme Court to seriously consider the national interest and our development goals before issuing TROs and injunctions and critical government projects and cases involving government assets. I do not mean to offend you, but I cite, for example, the Supreme Court TRO that prevents the Department of Health from distributing subdermal implants which cost the West States of $250 million worth of taxpayers' money. I also note that since its issuance 2 years ago, this TRO has impaired the government's ability to fully implement responsibly planning and family planning and methods in the RH law. Itong TRO has been the bane of projects. And even konsonghe yung mga Ayala nag-aawa yan. Just to make you understand na hindi lang kayo. Tapos yung TRO na yan would delay the projects. Now God, and I'm asking Congress, find me a law na kung may bidding naman at it was regular, so dapat ang korte or somebody else should not be messing it up. Because it will delay the projects, which has been the case in the provinces. And I urge Congress to thoroughly review the existing procurement laws and come up with legislation that will ensure prompt delivery of goods and services to the people, especially medicines and hospital equipments. Since COA is here, I limited to 3 places where the military can buy the equipments. Because I'm sure that they will work and they can kill the enemies and make even our forces stronger or in parity with what they have on the other side. Itong armas, sabi ko, huwag mong sundin yan. I will explain to COA why. Huwag mo akong pababilihin dyan sa mga lugar ng South America at lahat dyan sa mid-European, Eastern European countries are also, well, there are good ones, but our laws should support and not impede national development in a speedy and sustainable manner. In our bid to accelerate human capital development, we seek ensure lifelong opportunities by enhancing quality of and access to education training programs. We have sustained investments in higher education and committed to the full implementation of the K-12 Basic Foundation Program. We expanded health insurance coverage and benefits. The destitute and the indigent or those who just could not afford hospitalization. Pasok kayo ng hospital, sabihin ninyo na sabi ni Mayor Duterte, pagamot daw kami, siya daw ang bahala magbayad. A few years, the golden age of infrastructure in the Philippines to enhance our mobility and connectivity and thereby spur development growth on equitable in the country. In other words, we are going to build and build. To improve our sea connectivity, we launched 15 brand new RoRo vessels to ply major nautical routes all over the country. We also opened the ASEAN RoRo shipping route connecting the ports of Davao and General Santos, Philippines to Bitong, Indonesia. Hanggang ngayon, andiyan pa yung EDSA. Okay lang. At least gumanda lahat. Mag-iwan naman tayo ng pangit. We will not make it all smooth in the Philippines. We leave a little alley known as EDSA as the road to perdition. But anyway, since I could not get any funding, I traveled to China and make friends with them. And Ambassador Ambassador Zhao, thank you for the help. And as a matter of fact, willing, said, if your Congress has no money, we will give you the money. And China has committed to build 2 bridges to span Pasig River, free of charge. I call on the Senate to support my tax reform in full and to pass it without haste. We are building new airports. We might get some money also from China. In the meantime, the Department of Finance and the Bureau of Internal Revenue are strengthening and running after tax evaders. I have directed the Department of Finance and the BIR to accept Mighty Corporation's offer of 25 billion to settle its tax liabilities. After the settlement, Mighty will no longer engage in tobacco business. This will be the biggest tax settlement on record. Let this be a lesson to others. This administration will spare no one found cheating the government of its due. To this end, my cabinet approved the National Broadband Plan of 2017 to begin the work to bringing affordable internet access to every community and improving broadband connectivity in the country. Let me end by wishing everyone in the language of the orb, may God keep us forever sheltered Indilahalo Ovisan. Salamat.
Jessica, lampas 2 oras ang itanagal nga ng ikalawang State of the Nation address ni Pangulong Duterte. Mas mahaba yan dun sa kauna-unahan niyang SONA noong nakaraang taon. Jessica.
Joseph, dun sa title, no, Comfortable Life for All, mukhang yun yung speech niya na hindi niya masyadong in-emphasize kasi madalas parang binabasa lang niya ng dire-diretso na parang mabilisan pa. Pero kasi itong SONA ng Pangulo, parang mas memorable siya dun sa mga adlib eh. Parang nandun yung meat ng kanyang mensahe. Yun nga lang, ito yung mga usual na hugot niya o yung mga resentment niya, yung mga kontrobersya na tinatalakay niya. Yun nga lang, imbes na yung comfortable life for all ang maaalala dito sa kanyang speech, ito yung mga yung mga controversial niyang binitawang salita ngayon.
Well, Jessica, even in the adlibs, for example, no, yung halimbawa sa mining, kasi I remember, nag-depart talaga siya. Nung dinidiscuss niya yung environment, biglang nag-depart siya. Sabi niya, hindi ko muna babasahin yung aking speech, but he proceeded from, nag-adlib na siya dyan. At sinasabi niya dyan na parang ang ine-emphasize niya na yung mga mining companies, yung mga operations nila, ang naging resulta nun ay halos wala nang makain yung mga magsasaka natin at saka ilang mga fishermen. The point being, Jessica, is that even if without reading yung prepared at least na State of the Nation address ito si Pangulo, that has been the running theme of his administration, if Palace is to be believed. Kasi sinasabi naman nila, ever since he assumed power, ay ang gusto talaga ay yung mas komportableng buhay para sa lahat. So, but yeah, you are correct na parang si Presidente is more comfortable speaking ng unscripted at doon lumalabas yung what he really thinks of certain issues, no? Pero may tendency nga rin na medyo talon-talon tayo ng mga topics, but ang trabaho naman natin dyan is to stay on yung ano yung sinasabi niya and keep, kumbaga, tutukan kung ano talaga yung meat of what he's saying despite all those, kumbaga, ramblings. Jessica. But ang sinasabi ng Palace is, before, no? Ang sinasabi, tinatanong kasi natin, ano ba yung link? Ang sabi nitong si presidential spokesperson Abella, I expect the president to speak from the heart, Jessica.
If you were to synthesize everything that he said, no, and come up with a thesis statement, yung pinaka-strong sigurong narrative or story of his speech, what would that be, Joseph?
That he will use government power to impose the law. And that will cut across yung several issues, no? Like sa mining, for example, sa drugs, sa tax reform, sa tax evasion, at yung sa martial law. So I guess yung enforcement of the law will be the key message of his SONA ngayon, na parang that will cut across all the issues that you mentioned, Jessica.
In other words, this is undoubtedly a strong government, di ba? Yun yung, from the start naman, I think he made that very clear, no? He's going to be, is going to be a strong government.
Strong in the sense that he will impose the law regardless of kung sino yung matatamaan ito, according to him, Jessica.
Okay, in terms of impact, ano kaya ang based on the reaction na naririnig mo, nababasa mo, Joseph, at na mga nakuha mo from the interviews after the SONA speech ng Pangulo, alin ang pinaka-high impact sa lahat ng binanggit niya?
From what it appears, yung bago ang mga, I guess I can answer your question by saying kung ano yung mga bago. Because first, yung mga ibang mga issues na sinabi na niya, yung sinabi niya ngayon, are issues that have been discussed before by the President. At nakapag-react na rin yung ibang mga sectors tungkol dun sa issue. For example, sa human rights, tapos yung itong awa niya with Senator Leila de Lima. So as far as that issue is concerned, that has been answered. Pero one of the, yung mga bago na sinasabi niya is yung sa Mighty Corporation, for example, this is a huge tobacco company at ang dating napag-uusapan natin is only 3 billion in tax liability but now it's 25 billion at pagkatapos nilang bayaran sa gobyerno ay aalis na sila sa negosyong yan. Number 2, yung galit niya dito sa NDF, no? Particularly kay CPP founding chairman Jose Maria Sison. So that has been compared to last year. Sabi niya, 'di ba, opening statement niya ng last year, will try to pursue peace. But now he's saying that baka mamaya he's starting to entertain na baka hindi rin posible during his term or even beyond yung pagkuha ng kapayapaan. So, but all the rest, Jessica, parang it sounded like mga speeches niya before, yung sa mga camp visits niya and even in the events. But that is to be expected because these subjects are cornerstones of his administration. And we can expect that the President will always talk about this in speeches that he has, Jessica.
Based on body language at yung comfort level na nakita natin sa Pangulo during this second SONA niya, last year he looked like the outsider. In fact, di ba, binibiro pa niya yung mga legislator na sabi niya, hindi nyo naman ako sinuportahan, ilan lang bang sumuporta sa akin ng election. But now, it's really looking like this is his Congress. Kung hindi man yung Senado, yung Kongreso talagang hindi na halatang-halata na hawak niya ang Kongresong ito. Or yung Congress solid behind him, di ba?
At the very least, he is comfortable with Congress, both houses, Senate at saka House of Representatives. Tama ka, yung observation late, ka-assume lang niya ng power, medyo may trepidation ng konti. But now, umabot nga tayo ng 2 oras at based on his body language, mas marami yung mga kumbaga joke or kaya yung mga ad-lib at saka yung mga casual niya na may mga pagkakataon dyan na habang nagsasalita siya tungkol dun kay Professor Sison, sabi niya, thank you for giving me this opportunity to vent out. No? Tapos may isa pa siya, ayoko nang basahin yan, alis na ako. So parang in terms of body language, comfortable si Pangulo ngayon doon sa pagharap sa Kongreso. As to whether that has something to do with yung hold niya sa Kongreso in terms of support to him, probably no, kasi in the past naman, and recently, Saturday, ay binigay sa kanya yung extension. So comfortable in the sense na he can count on Congress for his key bills and key laws that he wants passed, probably, Jessica.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Joseph Morong,